ya. Jadi kan kemarin kita itu kayak terpotong pembahasannya yang sampai kehidupan terasing. Nah, saya kasih contoh yang suku Baduy kan. Nah, suku Baduy itu adalah salah satu contoh yang memperasingkan diri sebenarnya ya. Nah, terus kemudian di bab 2 ini kita akan mempelajari juga bentuk-bentuk interaksi sosial. So, we studied about social interaction. First we have a process of association. Process of association is it has several categories or it has several types. First is cooperation, kerjasama, as we understand. So it could be bilateral or multilateral. And then kerukunan yang mencakup gotong royong dan tolong menolong. So in Indonesia we know the word gotong royong. I believe you have heard about that in Bandung. And then,
which one?
Gotong royong, this one. Can you read the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
So the gotong royong is especially for Indonesians term that for example when I getting married, my neighbor will come and help to my house in order to, like, for example, make dishes, make a meal, and then watching the dishes, and then cleaning my house, cleaning my garden, cleaning my yard. So that's a sense of gotong royong that still happen even in the city, the big city of Indonesia, because even in the big city, people of Indonesia, they are living in community. For example, one of my family in Jakarta, they kind of like migrate from Bima to Jakarta, and then they have kind of like community like that, and then it's also kind of like common in Indonesia. So although we are living in the big cities, small towns, big town, we still do have kind of gotong royong. And the second term is akomodasi. So akomodasi here it is explained in bahasa Indonesia. Let me explain. Menggambarkan satu proses dalam hubungan-hubungan sosial yang artinya dengan pengertian adaptasi. So it's kind of like describing the social interactions, and then in order to adapt. And then one of the example, the very popular example for akomodasi, it's kind of like interracial marriage. It's a common in Indonesia. But the problems is for interracial marriage is if you marriage with Japanese person, it's kind of like the dowry is not so high. If you compare with the Makassar, so the highest dowry in Indonesia is Makassar, Sumatra, and then the more eastern part or region of Indonesians people, the more higher the dowry. I even hear directly from my friends and also from the Vice, one of the YouTube channel that how do they say explore the real life of Asia person is one of the NTT ethnic, I forgot the name of the ethnic, a man, before he get married to the women, he has to prepare one truck of cattle. Can you imagine one truck of cattle for the dowry? And then it's kind of like, yes, for some, and then in Indonesia, whether you are Muslim or Christian, it is very bad to kind of like silariang. Silariang is a man kind of like take a woman from a women's family house without permission of a women's father. So what we call silariang. So and then the next, that's the problem in the interracial marriage or the marriage itself because of the dowry. Yes, and the third is asimilasi in bahasa Indonesia, or in English it's derived from the word assimilations. Here in this book, faktor yang mempermudah terjadinya asimilasi, there are several factors that make assimilation ease assimilation. First is tolerance. So as you can see from the media, especially Europe media or United States media, Indonesia is kind of like, they thought that Indonesia is too rigid, but what really happened inside of us is not what as media describe. In some domain you can find out there is a rigid person, but a lot of Indonesian persons or Indonesian people not really rigid. So because we understand, because we usually have like kind of like diverse upbringings like that. just because of the different how do you say, different ethnics. The second is kesempatan-kesempatan yang seimbang di bidang ekonomi. So as I explained before, that Indonesia is one of the nation that implied or that practicing one of the economic how do you say, open stratifications. So it can achieve for it gives chance for everybody to pursue the economics or the welfare, whatever ethnic do you belong to, whatever color do you have to, as long as you have a talent and you are professional, you can go on. So number 3 is sikap menghargai orang asing dan kebudayaan. In Indonesia is very common. So when you come, for example, for the white person, it is very common that we so polite to white person, because as I told you before, that Indonesian person, it's really like a person who has fair skin, pointed nose, and then especially blonde. So yeah, they are very very polite to the foreigner. But I don't know for the rest of the story. But when you go in the village or in the even the city in Indonesia, they will call you Mister. Maybe for Mister or or something that they used to call foreigner, but in sense of foreigner, it may be kind of like unpolite, but in sense of Indonesia, it's a form of politeness. There are different perspective. So the next is sikap terbuka dari golongan yang berkuasa dalam masyarakat. This is has openness